Alright, so let's begin today's lesson. Now, most people think of NASA as rocket ships and space exploration, but they do a lot more than that. NASA's engineers are very skilled, and they can use the skills that they have to make things on Earth better. One thing that they're interested in is aircraft performance. And recently, NASA's engineers found a way to improve aircraft performance by building these little things called micro-vortex generators. These are small, fin-like devices placed on the flaps of aircraft wings, and they increase performance, reduce noise, and save fuel. They're simple, inexpensive, and relatively easy to install on new or existing aircraft. So how do micro-vortex generators work? A vortex is a physics phenomenon that occurs when a gas or a liquid moves in circles. Examples of vortices, that's how you say vortex plural, vortices. Examples of those are hurricanes and tornadoes and things like that. As air normally flows over and under the wing of an aircraft in flight, it produces lift, but it doesn't work perfectly. Some of that airflow is uncontrolled. It gets in the way and it produces extra drag or air resistance. However, the new vortex generators sweep away some of that uncontrolled airflow, and they even produce a miniature controlled tornado called a vortex. This really helps with lift, cuts down on drag, and makes flight more efficient. Today we're going to explore vortices, and we're going to make our own air vortex cannon. I bet you can throw a ball across a room, that's easy, but have you ever tried to throw air across the room? I don't know if I did it. Well, that's our challenge today. We're going to throw air. So let's talk about how it's going to work. Air is a gas. A gas is a state of matter that expands to fill any container it is in, even though it has no definite shape or volume. Unlike a solid or a liquid, the molecules that make up air are not close together or attracted to one another, but instead they move randomly, and they collide with one another by chance. Air also doesn't hold its shape, so it's difficult to apply a consistent force to enough air molecules at a time to push, throw, or otherwise move them in a single direction. That's where an air vortex cannon comes in. You can trap the air inside of the air vortex in the chamber inside and then shoot it. The air escapes through this opening here. All matter can move in response to force, and it can exert force on other objects. It's just hard to figure out how to move air, seeing as it has no definite shape or volume. That's why the air vortex cannon was invented. An air vortex cannon can apply lots of force to molecules trapped inside of its chamber, and it can make them move in one single direction. Why is it called an air vortex cannon, though? Well, let's talk about it. The air outside up here is still, but when you push the air through your vortex cannon, you can actually create a projectile that comes out through here. You just can't see it because air is clear. If you could see it, you would see there's a projectile that comes out and looks kind of like a donut. That donut is called a vortex ring. The vortex ring is caused by the friction of the jet air with the edges of the cannon's opening and the slow air moving outside of the air cannon. If you were in the program last week, you might remember this being described as the Bernoulli Principle. The only way for the high-speed air molecules to escape is out through the opening at the end of the cannon. The rapid escape of the air molecules forms a stream of air that flows straight out of the cannon. Poof! Vortices like the ones generated with your air cannon are created by a number of things, such as helicopter blades, or even mosses that disperse their spores by shooting them outward. Whales and dolphins even blow vortices with bubbles underwater. Now, let's make our own vortex cannons. So, for today's activity, you don't need too much. You do need some balloons and a cup. I only have plastic cups here, but I think that paper or styrofoam would actually work better than plastic because what you're going to have to do is cut a hole in the bottom of your cup, just a small hole like this, and it's hard to cut through plastic, but it's easier to cut through a paper cup or a styrofoam cup. You'll need something to cut it with. Probably going to want some tape, and then you're going to want something very light that you can actually try your air vortex cannon out on to make sure that it blows these light objects when you shoot it. Cotton balls are pretty good. You could do rolled up pieces of paper or anything that just has very little weight and could blow in a breeze created by your cannon. Now, if you want to do an extra challenge, you're probably going to want to get a box. And what you would do is you would tape the box all around so that there are no openings at all, no place for the air to get out, except for a hole that you make in one side. And this is the only place that your air can get out. Everything else is sealed up. Or you could use a bottle, like a 20-ounce bottle or a 1-liter bottle, and you just take the cap off. And this will work as a cannon as well. Start by putting a hole in the bottom of your cup. Then take a balloon, an empty balloon, and tie a knot in it. Cut off the opposite end. Should be stretchy. Now take that stretchy end and put it over the lip of your cup. Now you have a trigger there. Take your tape and tape the balloon onto the cup so it doesn't pull off. All the way around. Now take something soft like cotton balls or balls of paper and pull the trigger on your vortex cannon and make them go. Shoot the air out of your cannon. If you'd like more of a challenge, take your water bottle, cut the bottom off, do the same thing with a balloon, tie a knot in one end, then cut off the opposite end. Stretchy. Now put it over your water bottle. Take your tape, just like you did with a cup, tape it on so it doesn't pull off when you pull your trigger. Okay, now use that trigger, take off the cap so the air can shoot out, and go to work. And finally, if you want to try the box, all you have to do is tap the side of the box to make the air come out. Enjoy your vortex cannon!